Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sebanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get straight into this topic here. So as you guys know, as the season has progressed, I've become a very big fan of Victor Wembanyama. And watching this playoff push that they've been on, and given the teams that they played, even just recently defeating the reigning NBA champions, I came to the conclusion that Victor Wembanyama is the best player, not the best, the face of the NBA, and could possibly be the best player in the NBA. If you look at what he's accomplished from last year to this year, given the fact that the Spurs did not even make the playoffs, and now that they're in the NBA Finals, and they didn't really have any real major roster upgrades, although De'Aaron Fox, I think, was injured for most of last year, if my memory serves me right. But pretty much they had the same team. It's just that they got better, coaching got better, and now they find themselves in the NBA Finals, although they just dropped game one at home against Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. But I said that Victor Wembanyama is the face of the NBA, and certainly when he came into the league, there was a lot of fanfare surrounding him. And I think as he's made this playoff run, given that he's in year 3, and he's already in the NBA Finals, a lot of people are beginning to come over to my side of thinking. And one of those people in particular was Chris Broussard. So yesterday I tuned into an episode of First Things First, and they were reacting to the, I think to the Spurs victory over the Thunder. If I'm not, no, it's not that. They were just kind of previewing game 1 of the NBA Finals. And they were talking about the major headlines going into it. So as Chris was talking, he then began to explain why Victor Wembanyama is already the best, is already the face of the league. And if he continues to improve, if the Spurs win and continue to win, he's going to be on a GOAT trajectory going into the future. But before we even get into what Chris had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. The NBA Finals are here, and for me, the basketball doesn't stop once they crown a champion, because this summer of sports is genuinely stacked. I have been making all my picks on PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app. Here's what I genuinely enjoy about it. During the finals, I'm making picks on points, rebounds, and three-pointers, and then I can stack those player picks with soccer, baseball, or the W, and even bigger payouts. It is simply selecting more or less on a few player stats, putting them into one lineup, and following along within the same app. And it's now available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. In the finals, this is where legacies are made. You can get in on one of the biggest games of the season and make your picks on everything from points and rebounds to dunks, three-pointers, and fantasy score, all before the champion is crowned. PrizePicks is a preferred partner of the NBA, making every game even more exciting to watch. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA. All right, perfect. So what I want to do now is I'm going to play Chris's comments. I want you guys to listen to it, and then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Chris Broussard here.
He'd be the only person other than Bill Walton to do what he will have done.
Correct.
Walton led an inexperienced the youngest team ever in the finals to a championship in his first time in the playoffs. That's what Wemby would be doing. Now, some people say, well, Bill Russell won his rookie year. Boston had been in the playoffs 6 straight years before Russell got there, and Bob Cousy was the MVP Russell's rookie year.
Also, by the way, Brew, no one would say that except for maybe me. Like KW's like, nobody's saying that. Nobody's butting you on Bill Russell, but go ahead.
Magic, of course, rookie year, but Kareem was the MVP that year, and Duncan won it in his second year, but David Robinson was still a very good player, maybe toward the end of his prime. And so this would be wholly unprecedented outside of Bill Walton. And Walton at that point, obviously injuries hampered his career, but Walton was probably more of a finished product.
Yes.
Because remember, you played college for 4 years at that time, than Wemby. Wemby, I've said it before, is 70% roughly of what he will be. So if they win it this year, and this I think is the worst Spurs team that we'll see, barring injury, for the next 5 years at least. The Wemby era will have officially begun. Now, it's already begun individually. He's going to be the runaway favorite. I think you totally agree with me. Runaway favorite for MVP going into next season.
Yeah.
Individually, he's the face of the league. But from a winning standpoint, it will have begun. And I think teams in the NBA are just going to be at a loss. Like, what are you going to do with him? And Castle and Harper are going to improve as well. He could go, barring injury, on a run. We've only seen 2 guys put the entire league on lockdown, Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. I think he could do that. If they win this year, and he could do it, it could start next year if they don't win it this year. But that is what the league could be facing if he wins it.
Perfect. So you heard what Chris had to say. What are my thoughts about this? I think he's 100% on the money. There are very few players that have gotten off to this start in their NBA careers. And Victor's off to a spectacular start. Now, obviously, recently Kevin Garnett made some comments where he was pretty upset by Victor showing so much emotion after making it to the Western Conference Finals. That, you know, the guy's living out his dreams. And also, I think people can react however they want to react to Victor Wembanyama. From what I can tell, I don't think that Victor spends any time taking into account how people are responding to his way of being. Like, there was a quote that he had not too long ago where he was like, I refuse to carry the burden of keeping all my emotions inside, or something like that. I was like, wow, that's deep. So the guy is going to express himself the way he wants to. And KG has also shown emotion at times, you know, when he was losing and all that. He's cried. Like, KG's been through it as well, right? And KG's a very, very emotional guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve. So it was a bit surprising that came from KG. But nevertheless, he has a right to his own opinion. In terms of Victor, Victor is on an excellent trajectory. And if the Spurs win, what's going to make this team dangerous is that now they're going to have confidence. They're going to know that they can win a championship. And with that kind of, you see, I think confidence is one of the major deciding factors in a person's success, self-confidence. I don't think enough people put enough of an emphasis on what confidence can do for you. Your confidence can take you places you never would have thought you could go because it gives you audacity, right? And when you have a strong self-belief, you're not intimidated by things or people. And I think that the Spurs are beginning to believe in themselves. You know, I don't think that, and he said it. I remember in an interview, they asked him during the postseason, they were like, was this your outlook coming into the season? Because prior to that, you were like, the goal was to make the playoffs. And he said, you know, as the season has progressed, our expectations have changed, right? It went from, let's just try to make the playoffs, because that's a major goal, from not even being a play-in team, if my memory serves me right, to now going to the finals, and you see that you can be a finals team, then obviously you change your expectations for yourself. You set a higher mark for yourself. And as you continue to do better and go further in the playoffs, your confidence grows. So confidence is a major thing. I've seen confidence transform players' careers. Paul George is a perfect example of that. When he had that dunk against the Miami Heat and and LeBron dapped him up, that was a confidence boosting moment. Kawhi Leonard, you've seen it happen to people, how it can transform them. So these Spurs are gaining confidence. And I think that there's no other player that has made a better case to be the face of the NBA right now than Victor. There's no one, especially a young star. There's no one you can point to. So I would have to agree with Chris Broussard. He is the face of the NBA, especially going into next season. And I agree. These are my thoughts.